Hi everyone, I'm going to show you the demo of what we hacked at EthBerlin, which is a UX flow, an architecture and a strategy to help solve one of the biggest problems in the blockchain space, which is onboarding users. So you all know that we have a big problem today, which is crypto is for the initiated people. You need to be already an expert user to use any dApp. You need to have a wallet, you need to have Ether, which means you have gone through an exchange and their lengthy KYC process before you can actually use any dApp. And also when you have the dApp, it's still fairly complicated. You see pop-ups, you need signing, you hear talking about gas. There's a lot of concepts that scare the new user, and it creates a lot of friction. So we set out to create a flow, whereas we don't ask the user to do anything. We don't ask them to have a wallet nor to install one. We don't ask them to have Ether nor to ever see a pop-up. And still, the process should allow you to actually interact with a real dApp. And how do we do it? It's going to show you in the demo. It's very straightforward. But we created some contracts for them, which represent their account, their identity, and we created this idea that there's a set of companies that will sponsor these costs, both the deployment of the contract and to give this new user an allowance, a little bit tiny amount of Ether to play with certain dApps that are members of the alliance. And this is the only kind of novel thing. We pieced a lot of other elements together to create this UX flow, and this is the novel thing, which is an idea where companies pay for also not only for paying gas, but also to try the added apps. And this allowance is permissioned. You can only use it in the certain dApps of the alliance. So right now, to just jump into the demonstration, well, we created two sample dApps. One is called Queenchain. We were inspired by a drag show that happened at EthBerlin, where you choose a name, a password, and that's it for the user flow that they have to perform as an action. And the second dApp is Dappetizer as an example dApp. And so let me switch to the demo. And it's live, so you can go on allaboard.xyz and test it by yourself if you want. And let's go on to the first dApp. At the beginning, you have to choose a name like Beltran. Let me write a password. This is something usable, like this, just to verify very quickly. And it takes a bit of time at the beginning because we are deploying behind the curtains a contract. We are generating an invisible account here in the local storage, and also a deployed account that holds the ENS name and will hold also the Ether for the user that is deployed on chain. Okay, so it takes a little bit of time, but there it is. Okay, so this dApp is very simple. It has a text field where you can spill some gossip, like in this context you would do. And so let's type something. Hi, Queenchain demo. This is so rad, and also this is so rad. That's it. Okay, spill it. So I am sending a transaction, but as you've seen, we have not asked any wallet. We have not seen a MetaMask pop-up or anything. We are not asking them to make a choice about gas. Everything is so simple. It looks like the flow of a normal web app, but it's actually a real dApp. And as soon as the transaction will be finished, here we should have put some load bar or something to manage the wait. This is the only thing we still cannot solve. Okay, so it's saved. Right now you can see what I wrote, but to verify that it's actually written in a blockchain, here you have a tiny information where you can open the contract. For example, I have it here, and it's on Robston. Okay, right now it's deployed on Robston, and let's load maybe for the last few seconds. You can see the last transaction here. We can open it, and decoded, "Hi, Queenchain demo, this is so rad." And so you can verify that this is actually has been written on the blockchain. And as you've seen, we have not seen any wallet, gas, sign this, whatever. This is a flow that simplifies the user to onboard the user. And moreover, now that we are logged into Queenchain, we also have access automatically to all the other dApps. So in this case, I'm automatically recognizing this other dApp as being the user I signed up with. And this is a simple way to reduce the friction, okay? Of course, there's a lot of security concerns. Hey, the private key, hey, it's permissioned or whatever. You have to imagine this as a way to simplify the user, to let them try a dApp, to reduce the friction to zero. And when they are more used to the process and to using dApps, maybe we upgrade them little by little into all they need to know and have to really operate on the blockchain. And this idea that companies are paying for your gas and for your transaction and maybe also to interact with these dApps is nothing new. It's kind of the customer acquisition cost, but on the blockchain. And so this is the idea of all aboard, or enter crypto, which is the tiny name that we gave to this project. And it's a proposal to start simplifying the onboarding flow for users. And I'm looking forward to hear what you guys think.